There's a fair amount of noise at the moment going around about Jean-Clair Todibo and his future at West Ham being a bit shaky, and possibly West Ham looking open to the idea of selling him. I really don't like this. I really don't like this one. This is one that I get with certain players, right? I can understand that maybe new signs aren't quite looking great, and you might be, yeah, we're open to a few deals. The Todibo one, I'm not quite sold on. I'm going to be honest. I'm finding it almost as if the club are desperately trying to offload anyone associated with Tim Steidten. That's how it's starting to look, isn't it? Like, let's just get rid of anyone and just undermine Steidten even further. I just don't like it. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on, but considering the fact the club are open to offloading Nicholas Fulkrug this January, they were hoping to do so. Obviously, that was now not the case. Can't do so now anymore because of his injury, which is just typical West Ham. I did say this in the lead up to January. Why are we playing him all the time if we're trying to sell? Very strange tactic, and it's backfired terribly. So he's out, obviously, as we know, out for next 3 months, whatever it is, with his ruptured hamstring injury, which is a nightmare, but my point is, West Ham are open to selling him, though. That was a signing that and I get that. I do understand it. The player wants to go, not been very happy in England and all that kind of stuff, and West Ham are a bit unsure of him anyway, and feel like, well, look, we've got a new head coach in, let's try and bring some money in and we'll reinvest it in the striker. That one I kind of get. Luis Guilherme, obviously, one that Steidten is finding very difficult to sort of defend, I think, because obviously brought him over quite a hefty fee for an 18-year-old Brazilian who's then, not done anything as he really is, and that's not down to the player. I want to make it really clear. I'm not here slagging off Guilherme at all. I feel really sorry for him and his family coming away all the way from Brazil over to England. And let's be honest, there's no plan for him, was there? He's come in and it's just like, just train with the first team, see how you get on. And it's, again, not working very well. West Ham are developing players are not good. We are not good at getting younger players in and bringing them up and developing them into Premier League players. We just don't ever seem to do it, do we? How many times over the years have we seen these young so-called hot prospects from across the globe that we've gone, oh yeah, they're gonna be superstars one day, and we see nothing of them. Don't even see them make an appearance. If they do, it's very much a cameo role. So I kind of get why West Ham possibly be opening to selling Guilherme. Those two I get. Todibo's different. Todibo doesn't fall into that category as far as I'm concerned, because let's be honest, if Todibo was fit, he'd be starting against Aston Villa on Sunday. Let's get that right. He would be considered. It'd be first name on the team sheet. If he was fit and available now, in terms of a centre-back pairing, you'd have Todibo straight in there. So that's why I don't think Todibo goes into that category of someone we should be looking to sell. I just don't like it. And as I say, it's got a feel about it like it's just because it's Steidten related. It's also like we've got an opportunity here to kick him again, and another reason to say that he's failed. I hope that's not the case. That's the feeling I'm getting from Todibo's links. Now, as I say, the news doing the rounds were that Todibo was going to be open to selling him, but it's now been given an update from ex-WHO employee, thankfully, that at the moment that is not the case. X has asked the club, top source at the club, is there any truth in West Ham looking to offload Todibo? We've been told there is firm interest from Juventus. However, the deal is not going to happen. So he said, this has come from West Ham. No, they just want him on loan for the rest of the season. He's also injured, and we only have 3 centre-backs. So it's a total non-runner. I'm pleased to hear that. I don't want. I mean, it would make no sense for West Ham to be offloading him now. And also, like it says there, who on earth is going to want to take Todibo on with 4 or 5 weeks of an injury? It doesn't make any sense at all. So I didn't really believe it anyway. But Juventus are quite clearly interested. Now, what I'm feeling about this is that once Todibo's fit and possibly comes back playing for West Ham this summer, we might look to offload him to Juventus. If we get a return on the money for him and all that kind of stuff, and so we've not lost out, and in terms of finances, I wouldn't be too bothered about it. But I struggle to see that we would be able to get that sort of money, because we know Juventus couldn't afford him last summer. Let's get it right. That's why West Ham were able to go in and get him. His preferred move was Juventus. Juventus really wanted the player. They just couldn't get near him financially. I struggle to believe that this summer coming this year that they're going to be able to do that. So it's almost smelling already that we're going to be taking a loss if we are to do business with Juventus. I don't get it. And also, I like Todibo. I've been impressed with some of his performances. Okay, he had a bit of a slow start, but that's expected. Getting into the Premier League, it's a hard league. It's a totally different pace to the other leagues across Europe. So totally understandable that he needed a bit of time to settle in. But I think he's performed well overall. I think for a player that's come over, I've not been too disappointed. There's been a few moments I've not been overly thrilled with, but on this overall scale, I'm actually really happy with him. I feel like there's a lot of promise there. And the fact is, right, his big issue at West Ham, Todibo, was the head coach, was Julian Lopetegui. We know they didn't get on. They had a big falling out at a half-time game. I'm trying to think what it was. I think that might have been, is it the Arsenal game, if I remember rightly, where we were 4-0 down in half an hour? You have every right to have a go at the head coach. What are you bloody doing? We don't know what we're doing here. We're getting ripped to shreds. Not defending him for obviously having a bit of a argy-bargy, but you know what I'm saying. It was quite clear that there was a real broken relationship there, a fractured relationship between Todibo and Lopetegui. Now, look, Lopetegui's gone. You know, that backroom team are gone. We've now got a new head coaching in Graham Potter and his team. And I know from people that work within the club, I know people that are close to people working in the club as well in terms of the play and stuff, they're really happy with Graham Potter. Graham Potter's come in, he's got a completely different attitude. He's really good with the academy lads, which is something we haven't had for a bloody long time, including David Moyes. David Moyes was crap with the academy lads. They had no time for him at all. I can certainly say it'd be the same for Lopetegui. I know he was giving obviously Ollie Scholes, he's sort of pushed through to the first team, which is good, but ultimately he was very difficult communicator, very difficult to get on with. So Graham Potter's a breath of fresh air. I want to see him work with Todibo. I want to see this pairing. I want to see him be coached by Potter and his team. I feel like he can get the best out of him because there is clearly a really talented player there. So yeah, as I say, just to confirm the update then from ex-director employee, this has come from West Ham. They've said no, they don't. Juventus just wanted to loan him for the season. Also, he's injured, and we only have 3 centre backs, so it's a total non-runner. So that's good news. So I really do hope the fact that Todibo isn't going anywhere this window, which, as I said, I've been surprised if he had done. It's a weird signing to make when a player's injured. I want to see him do well. I want to see him come back stronger, work under Potter and build, and then stay here. We have heard as well from other side of the story is that Todibo's really settled well in London. He's really happy and he loves the club and he feels like he wants to pay the club back. So I'm really leaning more that way. I really hope that is the case because we do need him to do well. We spent a lot of money on him. We're about to spend, is it £30 million, I think, in the summer to get the deal confirmed as a permanent move, which it will be confirmed. I don't want us to have to sell him. I don't. Unless, of course, Graham Potter watches him, of course, and says, not happy with him. I want him out. I've got someone else I want in. That's different. But I think he's a good player, and I think he'll do well. And especially, I like the idea of Graham Potter having time with him and being able to coach him and getting up to Premier League pace and start to flourish in this league. And I really do believe that'd be the best route to take. Yes, that's where we are. That's my thoughts on it. Really want to know what your thoughts are too. Let me know. See if you think if I'm going down the right path in terms of Todibo, if you want to see him stay. Personally, I do. So let's see how it pans out. Come on, you ones.